Well, good evening, everyone. I know it's late and I know it's been a while. I just wanted to come in briefly and just give some food for thought. But before I do that, I just want to say if you have not, get a chance to go to subscribe to my brother Crux channel, Voice. Voice of the for the voiceless or voice of the voices. Um, Subscribe to his channel. Another good brother that is doing great things and that's going to continue to do great things. Also, if you haven't subscribed to Provoke Thoughts channel, as well as Big Buy, and these brothers bring thought-provoking things to lives and panels and things of such nature. And I appreciate them doing what they do. But in hindsight, I know it's been a while, and as I said before, I only come on when the spirit moves me because really, I don't really speak a whole lot. I only speak when there's really something to say. Good evening, my sister Shelby. And I don't want to be long-winded. I don't want to keep you, but I just had some things on my mind, and I just had some things that I just want to put out there this evening because I think where we are and where we need to be and where we need to go really need to be addressed. And what I mean by that is we tend to pay attention to more of the dysfunction than the things that are functioning. And I know everybody is up in arms over the presidency and with Trump and Kamala Harris. Me personally, they're not determining, they're not going to determine how far I go in life. They're not going to determine which way I'm going to go in life. And they are not really paying my bills and they are not helping me raise my family. I get the politics, I get the policies, I get all the stuff in between. But at the end of the day, the God I serve provides me the breath of life, which is more important than me worrying about some man or woman sitting up in a seat that is about business of this country and foreigners and foreign countries and their business. Because at the end of the day, if you can't take my taxes that I work for every day, whether I vote or not, but my taxes are paying for things in other countries that don't have nothing to do with me, let alone it doesn't really help the people that's here. And then when you come full circle and you think about it, everybody has a problem with Biden saying he wants to forgive student loans. Well, let me address this here. They bailed out Chrysler. They bailed out, I think, Ford, GM, quite a few banks when these recessions happen, right? You bailed them out. But then you tell people to go to school to get a college education. Some people may not be good at going to trade school or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, those loans are backed by the government, but you don't want to forgive them. And then you have other people say, well, why should I pay your loans off and I ain't even go to college, or I went to college and I paid mine off? Well, let me get something straight here. Everybody don't get scholarships. A lot of people are not smart. And when I'm not going to say smart, they may not have the greatest GPA, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I can send billions of dollars to Israel. I can give billions of dollars to Ukraine. I can go give billions of dollars to fight wars that you've been fighting for 10, 15, 20 years. That's my tax money. But yet, when it's time for me to retire from a job that I worked 30 years, you're going to tax me even more. You're going to tax me on estate. You're going to tax me through death. You're going to tax me when I'm married. So ask me, where is my money really going when it really should be going to me? That's just some food for thought for me personally. But yet again, the Supreme Court blocks it, but it's a problem. But yet, you can go give Israel, the Zionist Jews, all this money for a land that don't even belong to them, that was given to them by the U.S. and Great Britain. Again, when you understand what Israel really means, then you'll understand that Israel that they're referring to ain't the Israel that is the true Israel nation. But everybody wants to go around and say, well, we got Kamala Harris running. I don't know if she's black. She says this. I don't know if she Indian. Honestly, who really gives a damn? You got this pale-faced dude over here, Donald Trump, who's not only a narcissist, yeah, he may be a good businessman. And people may say, well, oh, he's not a part of the politics. Yes, he is. He's still going to answer to somebody. The only difference is he's trying to do it his way, thinking he's going to get away with it, but yet he's getting caught at the same time. And trust and believe, I get what he says about the whole tax and the loopholes. I get it. If the law is there for you to use to your advantage, then you use it because it's legal. But when you're doing other things to incite people to start things because you may not get elected, then you're going to say, well, oh, it could be a civil war. It sounds like you're catering to the people that don't really have nothing to lose. But then on the other hand, you have Kamala, who was the attorney general for the state of California. She did some unrighteous things. But personally, I'm not voting for neither one of them. I'm holding my vote this term. And I'm putting it out there because it bothers me when people ask me, who you going to vote for? Who gives a damn who you vote for? That's your right. You do what you want to do. But ask yourself, is it going to benefit you within the next 4 years while these folks up here running their mouth saying what they're going to do for you? Let's be honest. God gave us all the tools to make it in this life. I don't give a damn what political party you belong to. I don't give a damn what where you live. I don't give a damn what kind of car you drive, what kind of house you have. It don't matter. We have to do it for ourselves. Why? Because God gave us dominion over this earth. And that dominion means to do it righteously, not unrighteous. But see, we're paying attention to the people that we really don't know. We can trust somebody in the White House or Congress to do something for us that's supposed to benefit us, but it ends up benefiting other people. Then you want to say, well, oh, it's the Democrat fault. No, 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 no. It's both parties' fault. They've been doing this for years. It is nothing new. The only difference is when you have 24-hour cycle of social media and people are only putting out bits and pieces of things, people overreact, underreact, or just whatever. I'm going to be honest with you. I truthfully am tired of really the bullshit and the propaganda and the fear mongering. Because the last time I checked, the people that are protecting this country ain't the military. It's our local men and women who service these streets. Some good, some bad. But at the end of the day, it's our local police that are actually helping us stay intact. Does change need to be made there? Yes, indeed. And I'm calling out the cops that don't call out bad cops, because you should. No cop should have immunity or full-fledged immunity, especially when you kill someone, whether it's in broad daylight or at night, and it's videotaped. It's recorded. Should not have full immunity. But yet, if I do something wrong on my job, I can lose everything. But he or she, as a police officer, still get their benefits. They can be suspended and so forth and so on, but they only go to the academy either 16 weeks or 26 weeks or something like that, and they can still keep their job. But a doctor can get a malpractice lawsuit against him and he can lose everything. You see how that works? You don't even have to go to school to be a cop. But yet, you have more protection on your job than anything else. That's a problem for me. And then what really bothers me, a lot of us want to pretend as though the Democrats gonna do something for me and the Republicans gonna do something for me. No, not really. Not really. Not really. Because it's already been proven that your vote has already been bought and paid for prior to you even voting. Because you got people putting money into these campaigns for what? For something to be done on their behalf. It says constituents. Well, we really ain't constituents because we're not going to the dinner party. See, we're asking for a seat at a table, but we really don't even have a seat. We're standing around the table and picking the crumbs up off the floor. I don't care what race of people you are. There's a small percentage of people in every race that's going to bring something to the table for somebody who's running for office to do something for them. And it ain't going to benefit the entire race of people. Let's get that straight. The majority of it is going to benefit those that put the money up first. Let's just be honest with it. Let's be honest with it. The Civil Rights Bill was supposed to be for so-called melanated people, right? Who does it benefit more? I'll wait. But see, you have to create your own table before you go sit at somebody else's table. I'm going to say that again. You have to create your own table before you go sit at somebody else's table. Because guess what? When they made the food, who was the food going to benefit? It's going to benefit all the parties that's sitting at the table. You're coming in at the last minute, so you're going to get the crumbs, which means you're not going to be full. You're still going to be hungry. TS, thank you for being here. You're still going to be hungry. And we're still begging for these individuals, even in our local government, our state representatives. Perfect example. Look what happened here about the reparations thing, right? You got to look at the bigger picture. Before it gets better, it's going to get worse. And the reason being because you have too many chiefs. And out of all those chiefs, who has the power? Congress. The president has limited power. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be a political science major to figure this shit out. And I'm gonna say it again. You can withhold your vote just like they do when they passing bills or trying to pass bills. Because at the end of the day, ask yourself, what policies are benefiting you federally? Because isn't it amazing that we have all of these policies? There's federal government policies, there's state policies, there's local policies, there's county policies, there's city policies, and yet and still we got fucked up streets, we got fucked up schools, we got empty buildings that's just sitting there going to rot, and ain't nobody fixing it up. But then they tell you, oh, well, the world is overpopulated. Well, no. There's a lot of land still out here. They just not using it. Why? Because it's owned by the federal government. And then they want you to think that, oh, the president all of a sudden can somehow change the gas prices. Oh, all of a sudden the president somehow creates jobs. The president don't create no goddamn job. These private companies, small businesses, and corporations create these jobs. The president can't increase your salary. He can't tell your boss to give you $10 more an hour. You can't tell your boss to give you another $10,000 in salary, or whatever the case may be. He can't do none of that. He doesn't control anything. It's about supply and demand. Because they damn sure not controlling the barrels of oil. Oh, I forgot. Venezuela got the majority of the oil reserves throughout the whole world. So maybe the United States trying to get that. Is that what we're doing? But yet we have our own thing too. So people promise, well, we're gonna bring jobs back to America. Since when? Oh, okay. I'll wait. But again, you know, who am I? I'm just a regular person that's looking at from a different lens. Because I look at my parents when they were living. I look at my grandparents when they were living. I look at their parents when they were living. What happened? See, they don't tell you about the folks in the 60s that didn't want to be a part of the civil rights movement because they had their own businesses, they had their own schools, because they knew it was going to be a mistake. But yet, we are them and they are us. What do I mean by that? See, when we were in power at one given point in time, but they want to make you think that you started at slavery. See, the victor will always tell a different story because he don't want you to know that he destroyed stuff, cheated, killed people, so he or she could be in power. But you don't have to believe me. Just go do your homework, do your research. Everything is all laid out for you. Exactly, TS. But again, immigration policies and all this stuff has always been here. They've always been coming through. Since, matter of fact, I was watching a documentary about 6 months ago. They showed you immigrants coming in here in the 60s, and they were Africans looking for work. Yeah, going to pick cotton and all this other kind of stuff. Even had their children with them, and so forth and so on. But all it did was highlight what was already going on. See, isn't it amazing how when election time come around, everything gets highlighted? Why? because everybody is jockeying for position. Open-minded brother, thank you for being here. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat. Everybody's jockeying for position because they're going to tell you, oh, when I get in office, I'm going to do this. When I get in office, I'm going to do that. Yeah, keep listening. And then you got some of these people that have been in office so long that they've actually forgotten how to do their job. But now, 3 weeks in after they come off their summer break, oh, we might be going into a shutdown. It just makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder. When they say for the people, therefore the people wasn't you. That was for them. But I'll say it again. God has given us all the tools to make our life what it should be and what it's supposed to be. Yes, we must have law and order, but at the end of the day, you can't legislate behavior because a lot of these people are doing the business of the United States. But then they want to tell you, oh, our country is not divided. It's been divided since its inception because you came and divided it amongst the Indians and so forth and so on to get what you wanted. So I'm going to call it the divided states of America because that's exactly what it is. There is no collective group of people that's really doing what they should be doing. It's a small group of people that's doing the bid for other people to make them rich and make them powerful. But again, who am I? I'm just a regular dude that understands. And I've said this before. Satan's seat is in that White House. And if you don't believe me, if God allows you to live long enough, he's going to show his face. And when he does, he's going to come in peaceful, calm, cool, and collected and going to make you think that he's going to fix everything. But in a short period of time, he's going to destroy everything. But again, you don't have to believe me none whatsoever. Spiritual things do happen. It's coming fast, but it's coming slow too. You know why? Because some people are not paying attention. Too many people are keeping their eyes on the wrong thing. And again, Open Minded said this a couple of weeks ago when I did a live. The president, the Most High, is our president. He gives us the breath of life. He gave us dominion over this earth. We have to take back what's ours. We have to take back the promises and give it to God like he gave it to us. Because it's our birthright to have the power and the things that God promised us. But again, these are just food for thought. And I just want you guys to sit back and examine it and really think about it and pay close attention. Because again, just as people say the devil is busy, God has always been busy. He just don't need your attention. He wants your praise. He wants, and guess what? He wants your love, but he's not going to beg you to love him. You either love him or you don't. But it's unfortunate that a lot of people are awake but still sleep. I'm gonna say that again. It's unfortunate a lot of people are awake but still sleep. But anyway, because when you're awake, you don't fall for the bullshit. You don't run to where the noise is. You let the noise be the noise. You have to pay attention to what you can't see. You have to pay attention to what you can't hear. Because sometimes when something is moving in silence, it'll get your attention too. You just got to know how to see it and look for it. But that's just me. You're right, open minded. But it's also about those people who get high off emotions. It's also about those people who lie to people knowing they're lying to them just to get their attention and get their emotions. Because if I told you the truth, you won't come back. But if I fed your emotions to make you feel good, you'll come back every time. The truth has to cut you and the truth has to hurt you. And it also has to make you feel uncomfortable. But how many of us don't like to be uncomfortable? And I admit I don't like to be uncomfortable either. But in order for me to be able to come to you, I have to be uncomfortable. You know why I have to be uncomfortable? Because it don't feel good all the time speaking the truth, but you got to speak it. See, a lot of people want to get into debates and argue and all this other kind of stuff. No, 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 no. Ain't nothing to debate. Speak it and move on. See, a lot of people don't realize that you're a seed. Somebody else gonna come by and water so you can grow. And then sometimes somebody may not come and water it at all, and you won't grow. Some people will still be sitting in the ground amongst the weeds and the thorns, bitching and complaining because you don't want to receive the water that's been given to you to grow, but you want to bitch and complain. And soon that seed won't grow at all. You'll just be sitting there. And eventually you're going to wither away. So all the bitching and complaining you did, you wasted your time and not growing. If you're going to grow, somebody's going to have to put the water over you to grow. And then as you're growing, somebody's going to have to prune you to stay fresh and clean so you don't get caught up in the weeds and the thorns. See, I'd rather be around people that's not even going to push me, but that's going to tell the truth if they see I'm going the wrong way or see I'm getting ready to do some fucked up shit. I would respect you more if you did that to me versus you seeing me doing something. You know I'm going to do some fucked up shit and you don't say nothing. Because that lets me know you just going along for the ride. As soon as I get popped, you ain't nowhere around. Real friends are going to tell you the truth even when it hurts. See, it's amazing to me and people get mad and upset when somebody call you out. You got to call the person out that you love. Because if you can't call them out, you didn't love them in the first place. If I love you, I'm going to call you out. I'm not going to call you out in front of people. I'm going to call you out from behind the scenes and let you know what you did wasn't right and wasn't cool. I'm going to still love you, but I got to call you out. Jesus called his disciples out and he still loved them. You know, the funny thing about life is we only know people to a certain extent, but God knows us fully from the beginning to the end. And I'm going to leave you with this thought. How many of you really knew your parents? Did they ever sit down and have a conversation with you and told you how they grew up and how they struggled with certain things? What bothered them? What motivated them? What hurt them? What truth that they wanted to know about something but they didn't get it? The reason why I'm saying this, because those things are valuable to children as they grow up and become adults. And a lot of times we don't get to know our parents in that light. We just know them by the way they raised us. But we really don't understand how they really grew up and what bothered them, what hurt them, what broke them, what made them. And I think a lot of times they didn't want to bring that out because they probably felt as though we really wouldn't love them. But let me tell you something. As a father, I made sure my kids understood how I grew up, from the hurt, the pain, the good days, the bad days, because that will allow them to come to me to have a conversation when they're going through something. That way, when those conversations come about, it's more meaningful and it helps them grasp and get an understanding of you. And then you can get an understanding of them because you also have to recognize that you were a child, you were a teenager, you were a young adult too. And just because we're at a certain age, that doesn't mean that we're actually adults. Some people are still children. Some people are still kids, even as so-called adults, because they're still trying to figure themselves out because they didn't deal with a certain childhood trauma that affected them and they were scared to talk about it because either they wasn't allowed to or they were just supposed to uh, uh, get over it and move on. And you have to be careful with that too. But again, these are just food for thoughts. And again, if you get a chance, open-minded, always put stuff on this community board. And a lot of what he says hit home. And sometimes it has to jog your mind a little bit because some of the shit be real, but it be the truth though, and it'll challenge you. And I'll put little quotes here and there on my community wall just to try to encourage you or just to lift your spirits. Because honestly, that's what I'm really all about. I don't get caught up in all the hoopla and all this other kind of stuff because it doesn't move me. It doesn't make me better than the next person. It just, I don't like drama. I don't like mess. I'm more about the progress of people, and I want to see people win. And you're right, open minded. I agree with you 1,000%. Same with me. My page ain't for everybody either. And guess what? I don't want it to be that way in the first place. I'd rather have a small group of people pass by and maybe listen or make a comment here or there. And even if you don't make a comment, you just pass them through. But for those of you that stop by and drop a little knowledge here and there, and I can reciprocate the same. I enjoy it. I love it because I'm about people that want to make a difference. I'm about people that want to see others grow. I'm about men being responsible for their household and nurturing their children because men are supposed to nurture too, as well as women. But I think more importantly that we have to lead by example. And when we fail, it's okay that we recognize that we fail and that we pick ourselves up and continue to move on. Exactly. Exactly, brother. I don't let people in my house either, brother. I have a select few people that come for a visit, and that's by invitation only. So, yes, indeed, I get that for sure. Um, and I think that's very important because when you let somebody in your house, you can be letting the devil in too. So you got to vet them and make sure they're coming in right because there are some people that will try to steal your energy, and sometimes misery loves company because when people see that you're moving in the right direction and you're happy and you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're trying to lift yourself up, you're trying to lift up the people around you, it's a sad case, but haters gonna hate and they're gonna be around. You just have to, know how to steer clear of them and get them out of your way. But again, like I said, I just want to come here tonight for some food for thought. Um, I appreciate those of you that are in here, that are in here tonight, and I'm hoping once I get some things taken care of that I can sort of revamp this channel a little bit and make it a little bit more accommodating for some, not all, because again, everybody's not going to hear what you got to say. Everybody's not going to want to hear what you got to say. But I always tell people you have to learn how to be an active listener. You have to learn how to communicate. And before you start giving your spew on what somebody said, listen to them fully. And then, state whatever it is that you need to state afterwards. Because some people like to jump the gun and want to be all over the place and start talking crazy because you may have said something that they didn't agree with. But at the end of the day, if I can disagree with you, it doesn't mean that I have to disrespect you. You know what I'm saying? And I can respect you enough to say, you know what, okay, I can dig it. It is what it is. And exactly open minded. And guess what? I can count my friends on my hand. I mean, true friends. And, I don't have to be on the phone with them every day. Sometimes they'll call me 6 months from now and be like, hey, bro, you cool? You good? I might not hear from them for another 6 months. Or if it's some kind of gathering, we may get together or something like that. But for the most part, I'm a loner anyway. I'd rather be by myself most of the time anyway, because I'm at peace. I believe in peace. I need to wind down and wind my brain down and not get so cluttered with bullshit and nonsense that's not doing anything for me. But again, I'd rather see people grow. I'd rather see people happy. I want to see people make it in life. And I don't care where you are. I don't care um, what it is that you've done before. That's between you and God. At the end of the day, as long as you know that you're doing right by yourself, and right by God, and right by others, that's all that matters. And you have to understand that people are going to hate you sometimes for no reason. People are going to hate you because you want to do the right thing. And we have to keep in mind the devil has his seeds too. We just have to figure out who they are. And some of those seeds are in our own family. There's certain family members we can't go around because they just full of shit. And the same thing with some so-called friends. So, it is what it is. You know, and again, you know, I stay to myself, but I move the way I move. And I am, like I said, I enjoy being by myself, but I'm not technically alone because God got me anyway. And I have a group of people, a circle of people that I know when I need to have a conversation, I know I can call upon them and I will get the dessert that I need to fill my palates. So exactly, open minded. You're exactly right. Because as the Lord says, his sheep knows his voice, right? You know what I mean? So we're on the same page, brother. I appreciate you. Again, like I said, I just wanted to come in here real quick. I didn't want to be long winded. Um, I just want to say stay encouraged. Don't get caught up in all the noise and the hoopla because it's gonna be there. Just know that when you lay down at night and you close your eyes and you pray to God and ask him to give you strength for every breath that he's given you thus far, and that he allows you to wake up tomorrow, that you are still winning and you're still moving, and that not only that you be a blessing to yourself, but you be a blessing to somebody else, because you never know what just a simple smile on somebody's face can do, or a simple word of encouragement can help somebody. So I would encourage you to keep doing that. And again, I appreciate you all for being here, open-minded. TS, Shelby, I appreciate you for being here. And those of you that are maybe watching from the bushes, I appreciate you being here. But know this, when you come over here, we're about encouragement. We're about growth. We're about positivity. We're about truth telling. We're about encouraging our brothers and sisters who are kings and queens. And more importantly, we're about the business of the Most High who sent us. So no matter where we go, when we walk into a room, we're going to stir that room up because we want the people in that room to go to the next door that God will open for them that no man can shut. So again, to TS, to Open Minded, to Shell B, I pray that God continue to do the work in you, and that you can continue to grow in grace and his love. But more important, that not only that you keep winning, that your children, your nieces, your grandbabies, your sons and daughters, nieces and nephews continue to win in life. Because at the end of the day, as long as we do the will of God, we are always going to win, no matter what. No matter what storm may come, no matter what earthquake may come, no matter what wind may blow through, we are always going to win. So stand on that. Be about the business. With that being said, my beloved brothers and sisters, I hope you have a wonderful night. Uh, Make sure that before you go to bed that you pray. You walk through your house and ask God to cover it from the front door to the back door, all the way to the sidewalk, and that he protect you and keep you as you go to and fro, and that you go out and you come in. So with that being said, I appreciate you all for being here. And for those of you that may be watching from the bushes, I thank you for listening. And I hope and pray that all is well with you and that you keep on winning as well. With that being said, I'm out.